Donald Trump will be sworn in again as president later today. Our Ross is live for us. I guess final preparations underway, Ross, but lots going on over the weekend as well.
Absolutely. So just a few more hours here until the inauguration. Let's go through the day itself, because at the weekend we had fireworks. There was a big dinner as well. But let's go through the day that's going to be ahead for the new president and the old president, if you see what I mean. I'm going to start the day with a church service. Then Donald and Melania will meet the outgoing president, Joe Biden, and the First Lady, Joe Biden. They have tea at the White House. That was traditionally held to welcome a new president. Of course, 4 years ago, that didn't quite happen. At midday, the inauguration ceremony. Then there's a lunch. Then there's a parade. Then Trump goes to the Oval Office. We've been talking about this a lot. The cold weather on the East Coast has moved the ceremony indoors into the Capitol's Rotunda building. This is actually the first time that they've been moved indoors since Ronald Reagan's second term inauguration. That was back in 1985. And it was minus 14 centigrade then. And then you'll have the inaugural parade. That's also being held indoors at Washington's Capital One Arena, along with the 3 inaugural balls as well. And over the weekend, we had thousands of people also marching. It was called the People's March, despite the weather being obviously cold, damp, not so nice, rallying against Trump's plans for the country. And then they were saying they're showing support for causes like civil rights, racial justice, immigration, and gun violence prevention as well. But as you mentioned, Lorraine, at the weekend we had the dinner, then we had fireworks. Then there was an Elvis impersonator, although maybe Trump will say it was Elvis himself. Sunday, the traditional wreath laying at the ceremony of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington ceremony. And then just hours ago, I know we had a few pictures there, it was Trump's campaign-style MAGA victory rally. And coming up in a moment, yep, your favourite moment with village people. So it's going to be interesting times.
It certainly is, that's for sure. Now, 3 of the world's richest men are going to be there, aren't they? But no Keir Starmer and no Michelle Obama. And there's been so many rumours flying around as to why she's not there. What's the state of the Obamas' relationship? You know, you can imagine people have been having a field day with that. Yeah, well, the first thing is she doesn't need to be there. Probably doesn't want to be there. I don't think there's a lot of love lost between her husband and the incoming president. So, yeah, she doesn't need to be there. As you mentioned, 3 of the richest men in the world. You've got, Mark Zuckerberg, you've got Jeff Bezos behind Amazon, Elon Musk as well. Elon's 4-year-old son, he was quite good at one of the events. He's 4 years old and his name is X-Ashe12. Usual spelling in that one, Lorraine. But as you said, some world leaders are going to be there. But just in case anyone is concerned about the state of Barack Obama's marriage, at the weekend he posted, for her birthday, happy birthday to the love of my life. Does that clear things up? But I know you really want to talk about the village people, though. The village people performing and Trump doing his little dance. He still can't quite do the YMCA bit, but he's got his own little dance. Just bizarre. Who would ever have thought it? I would never have thought back then when I was dancing to that in the discos that one day that would be the song for the president. It's just, you couldn't make it up. It's bizarre. Do you know, Ross, I was going to ask you, he seems, Donald Trump's appointed what he's calling Hollywood ambassadors. And I know that Mel Gibson is one of those ambassadors. I just wonder, what's the job of the ambassador? Do we know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the question the world is asking. John Voight, Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, all obviously been very vocal about their support of Trump. And yet they're Hollywood ambassadors because, according to the incoming president, it's a terrible place, Hollywood, and it's in need of rescuing. And so they are going to be ambassadors. But as yet, we don't know the job description or what exactly it entails. But the good news is the 3 of them coming, including Rocky, and they're going to save us. So we're okay. They're
going to save us. They'll make a movie of it, wouldn't they? I mean, it's got to happen. It's just got to happen. It's Hollywood. So it will. Oh, geez, Ross. Stay with us, because I'm going to be talking to you later on, obviously, with Tyler at the end of the show, but always a joy to talk to you. But joining me now, Washington insider Laura Schwartz, who was the White House Director of
events for Bill Clinton. Laura, thank you for joining us. It's only a few hours away. You've been there, you've seen it yourself. It is going to be different this time because, as Ross was saying, it's inside.
That's right, Lorraine. You know, what was wonderful is in 1993, I stood with the cold masses watching from the National Mall as Bill Clinton was inaugurated for the first time. And in 1997, for his second inauguration, I actually had the honor of being at the dais, serving as part of his senior staff. And so it is just this incredible mass of people coming together to celebrate, above all, democracy. But it's going to look a lot different this time, Lorraine. You've got about 1,600 people that were planned to be on that dais, that platform, on the west front of the Capitol. Now they're looking to squeeze in, Lorraine, they're going to try to squeeze in 750 people on the inside. And the joke here in Washington this weekend is that Trump simply said, this is going to be too big to hold outside.
Okay, right, I understand. It's so interesting. Last time when he got in, there was a lot of focus on his children, especially his daughter Ivanka, who has kind of taken herself out, made the decision she doesn't want anything to do with it. And he's kind of gone to his son Barron and the next generation. And it's very shrewd what he's doing, isn't it?
Well, it's really, you know, very calculated, as what most of the Trump and Trump organization and family does. You know, this man is a master brander, and he sees, even as yesterday, when he had Elon Musk come on stage with Elon's son X, he said X is a racehorse, and that is, you know, a nod to the fact that excellency runs in a bloodline. And that's how he feels. The same thing about Don Jr. He was just recently in Greenland, enacting on behalf of his father, excuse me, Eric Trump and others. But Ivanka right now does not have a West Wing office this time around.
It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. It really is. And what I think a lot of people are wondering, with Melania the last time, she was very much perceived as the reluctant First Lady. Already there's signs that that's not going to happen this time round. You know, she's got this documentary, she's giving interviews, she's launching her own line of jewellery and all sorts of things. So she's going to be very much front and centre, it would seem.
You're right, Lorraine. She recently gave a slew of interviews saying that the first time around, she really felt uninvited, unappreciated. You know, the First Lady's position is unelected, it's unpaid, and yet it's incredibly pivotal because you kind of play this role of chief executive, this chief comforter of the country, and someone for which the president can rely on. You know, it's been first ladies. Maybe in the future we'll have a first gentleman, but every first lady gets to really create their own arc. Now, for Jill Biden, it's been being involved in military families and community education, being an educator herself. Laura Bush was a librarian, so she made it literacy. Hillary Clinton, adoption and foster care, early childhood education, and other initiatives. Melania did have the Be Best campaign when she was in the first term. There's talks that she wants to revive that campaign. It's an anti-bullying effort among children. The problem is that it was often at odds with how her husband conducted herself. So we'll see how she goes about that program. And of course, Lorraine, everyone is still watching her fashion. Michelle Obama wore emerging American designers, many of with immigrant descent. Jill Biden's been doing a lot of Ralph Lauren, Tom Ford from Austin, Texas. But in the first term, Melania really wore a lot of European luxury. Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana, she was even in for her official portrait. So people are wondering if she's going to maybe give a nod to American designers this time around.
Well, I know a lot of them didn't want to have anything to do with her, but I think they will now. I think that has changed quite dramatically. And it all happens, doesn't it, so incredibly quickly. I mean, it's a matter of hours that they get rid of the last one and get the next lot in.
You're right, Lorraine. Within about 6 hours, the sitting president is moved out and the incoming president is moved in. So your viewers will all notice today that when the Bidens accept and welcome the Trumps to the White House, they'll be on what's called the North Portico. That is the side of the White House that faces Pennsylvania Avenue. The other side of the White House is called the South Portico. That's where we see the Marine One helicopter land and take off with the president. It's got the big oval drive. That's where you see state arrival ceremonies happening. So while the Trumps are greeted with the Bidens on the north side, on the south side, there is a giant moving truck there right there this morning. That moving truck is getting loaded up with the things from the Bidens. And then that one will go out the southwest gate while the Trump's effects come in the southeast gate and they start to get unloaded, so that when they arrive after the parade, after the Cap One Arena celebration, as it is indoors, the Trumps are going to walk in and their clothes are going to be in the closet. Their favorite food will be stocked in the pantry, and they'll be ready to go.
Crikey, it's an operation and a half, isn't it? Laura, thank you for your insight. Much appreciated. Thank you so, so much. It'll be a fascinating day. Well, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We have all the best moments from the show right here on the channel. And if you like this video, then we think you'll love this one. See you next time.